Corinne from CatherinePuller.com. Today's card, we're going to be using embossing paste and some fun metal stencils. So let's go ahead and get stamping. Tons of fun things you can do with these products. I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white cardstock, and I'm just laying my stencil on top. I don't have any temporary adhesive on the back. I have a Wilton frosting knife because I don't have the real technical official spatula that you need to be using with this. Probably would work a little bit better than this, but it's doing okay. This embossing paste is the consistency of frosting, so I got my frosting knife for it. Works for me. And I'm just spreading it over the stencil and kind of pushing it into the cutouts. So just spread it around, and a little too much in there. I'm going to wipe that off. And then you can peel that off and look at that awesome texture. We're going to let this dry. It actually doesn't take too long to dry, and we're going to move on and work on other parts of the card while it's drying. My greeting is going to come from Christmas messages. I'm going to use the Deck the Halls and my Real Red ink pad, and I'll just stamp this on white cardstock. The piece that I use the embossing paste on, I'm going to do some background stamp or sponging on that in green. So I'm going to use the Distress ink by Tim Holtz. It's peeled paint. And so I'm going to use the peeled paint and also stamp a little swirl. And maybe another one over there. And then I'll pull in my Big Shot. I'm going to punch this out with some circles. And now we have our circle greeting piece. Before I put my Big Shot away, I'm going to grab a piece of the Sizzix adhesive sheet. I want to cut out a snowflake, so I'm making sure that this piece is big enough. I'm going to peel off one side, which will reveal the sticky paper or adhesive sheet. We'll pull that off and then just add that to this white cardstock. And press that down pretty good. And using the Festive Flurries framelits by Stampin' Up, we're going to punch out a snowflake. Now I have a snowflake that has the adhesive sheet all over it, so when I peel this off, I have a fabulous sticky snowflake. And we can just pop that in the Powder Pal, or if you don't have a Powder Pal, a little Rubbermaid container would work great. Pour on the glitter. Get ready to get glitter all over the place. I like to turn my piece upside down and pat it into the glitter to embed it in there to make sure you get it super glittery, and then pull it up and give it a little tap to get off some of that excess glitter. So sparkly. Now that the embossing paste is dry, let's have some fun. I have this Distress ink pad and the blending tool by Ranger and Tim Holtz. If you are a Stampin' Up gal, you can use sponges and ink. This is a similar color to Old Olive, so you can get a similar look. And when I'm sponging, I usually try to start off of the paper so you don't get pieces that look like that, unless that's the look you're going for, which it may be. So I'll just lightly sponge this whole piece of cardstock. Now let's go ahead and assemble this card. I have some pieces here. I've done 2 snowflakes. I have my Deck the Halls. I have a doily, which you guys know I love those. Liquid glue I think is going to be a really good choice because this is bumpy. So I want the liquid glue to kind of suck down into the nooks and crannies of this card here. Whoops. And hopefully that'll stick nicely. I'll just trim off that excess doily. Don't throw this away. You guys know I use these little pieces of doilies all over the place. I love them. I don't know if I'm going to use both of these. Actually, I was thinking about having one peek out from underneath the doily. Let's see about that. I'll put a little bit of liquid glue on the bottom and the top so that it'll be adhered to the doily and to the base of the card. Dimensionals on the back of the greeting layer. And we'll just add that right here. I have a little red button with some baker's twine thread through it. I'll add a couple little mini glue dots. And that will adorn the card perfectly. Whoops. I was so focused on this part of the card that I didn't put the rest of it together. So I have a card base that is white and a 4 by 5¼ inch real red layer. We'll add these together. And then usually I would just do snail adhesive on this main stamped piece now, but since it's all bumpy, I'm just gonna add some liquid glue and that will be really easy to adhere these together. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you had fun learning about embossing paste, and there will be more video tutorials on Stamp Nation using embossing paste in different ways because I'm really digging this medium. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hop over to CatherinePooler.com, get on my newsletter list so you can get the top 10 things every stamper needs to know video series and my weekly newsletters. Have a great day.